can scream and shout with all your might.
Shout your little head off, baby. Shout it.
Dig in your heels and hold on tight.
Oh, hold on, because the tears are gonna start soon. The tears are coming.
Either you are wrong or I am right.
Don't forget, you are wrong and I am right, because I am the Great One himself. And those are my adoring fans. They love you. They know it's true. They know everything I say is the truth. The total 100% truth, because I am the Great One, and I will launch the cruise missile of my intellect, which will home in on the stupidity, ignorance, and the dumb fuckness of those who oppose me. Secondary explosions. I love secondary explosions. And after the cruise missile is struck, and survivors run from the wreckage, I mow them down with my M60 machine gun. 7.62 caliber, designed specifically to kill human beings. Love it. Alright. Today is, what is today? Alright, that was not cool. I should not unplug the microphone while I am recording, stating the obvious, regardless of how motherfucking cool I am. Checking out my calendar. My calendar is still on May. I think I'm a little behind the times. This is August the 6th. This is August the 6th. This is the day we dropped the atomic bomb on the Japanese. Yes, many of you out there still apologizing for that action. Keep apologizing, assholes. I don't have time for that. Alright, I am the Great One himself, known as Skippy. This is Stating the Obvious, brought to you by the Cynical Libertarian Society, located on the internet at 204eastsouth.com/CLS. In the control room over there is the lovely and adorable Randy. The email address, if you want to contact me, the Great One, is God, that's dog spelled backwards, GOD at 204eastsouth.com. Remember, any email correspondences, comments, critiques, opinions, ideas, or general stupidity that you send to Stating the Obvious becomes the property of Stating the Obvious and may be reproduced on this show or the website. So, don't say you weren't warned. Don't send me any crap if you can't handle the fallout. So, it is actually what I consider a lovely day here in Fort Collins, Colorado, the People's Republic. It was raining, which is unusual in Colorado. Of course, it only rained for 7 minutes, the way it always does in Colorado. There's no such thing as long-term rainstorms. But it's still cloudy outside, grayish, and it's nice because it's actually cool. The weather is great. It's been pretty hot lately, although we haven't been triple digits, but we have been high 90s for, I don't know, maybe about 2 weeks now. I'm ready for that to end. Forecast ahead is for good weather. By that I mean mid-80s. I can handle that. Yes! So, that has nothing to do with Stating the Obvious. Randy, did I forget anything? Let's see, I mentioned that we're Stating the Obvious. Cynical Libertarian Society, email address. I'm the Great One, everything. Oh, the theme song! The theme music for Stating the Obvious is You Know I'm Right by David Gilmour off his 1984 album About Face. I also suggest checking out the other two David Gilmour solo albums, On an Island and his first album, just titled David Gilmour. Alright. So, here in the People's Republic of Fort Collins, right about this time every year, everybody moves because the terms of the lease agreements in this town are pretty much tied to the college. Since school starts in August, pretty much everybody moves in at the beginning of August. So in my complex where I live, there are 10 townhomes, or whatever you want to call them. I think only myself and the white trash in one of the places, and the cute chick in the other place are the only 3 that stayed. The other 7 are all new people. I got a raw deal out of this. Because first of all, I don't think any more hot chicks moved in, which is bad enough. But on top of that, my neighbors to the one side have a dog. Actually, a lot of the people who have moved in have dogs. Dogs are everywhere in this town. This is a dog town. They have a dog, and this dog likes to whine. The dog needs attention. Now, folks, I want to talk to you about your dog. I want to ask you a question. What kind of fucked up psychological problems do you people have that you own dogs? And have you ever noticed how many dog owners are also tree-hugging hippie environmentalist wackos? Now we're going to talk to that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's start off with just the general concept of the dog. Excuse me. Dogs, man's best friend. These animals have been bred, inbred, outbred, crossbred, inbred some more. Year after year after year, through all these years, till they have finally created the world's most helpless animal. Now I understand people say, well, dogs are social creatures. Dogs are domesticated, and dogs have reached a coexistence with humans. And I'm getting some scruffy ass feedback on this microphone also. Randy, can you adjust that a little bit? Because I keep getting some pfft. See, like that. That was smaller though. That was good. Good. We have been tweaking the recording equipment here in the studio prior to recording this edition of Stating the Obvious, STO number 55. So hopefully this is all going to come out good, and we may, if I can talk, rented lips, we may be making some adjustments as time goes by. Alright, back to dogs. So dogs have been inbred to become these creatures which are completely dependent. Good, that spike was not as big. Thank you. Dogs have become completely dependent on human beings. See, this is why I like cats. You own a cat, you come home, the cat sees you, the cat says, hey, asshole, feed me. Don't make me come over there and hurt you. Give me some fucking food. You feed the cat eats, the cat goes and does it. It comes in, the cat rubs on you a little bit. You pet the cat purrs, the cat plays with you for a few minutes, and the cat says, okay, you're boring. The cat goes off and does its own thing. It entertains itself. Cats are self-contained creatures. I'm still getting some spikes. Okay? Yes. Dogs, on the other hand, now I'm not getting any volume. Try dropping it. Yeah, try that. Okay. Ooh. Alright, dogs, on the other hand. Dogs are completely helpless without a human being around them. It's like a dog by itself. This dog next to me, whenever it's by itself, which is most of the time, it just sits there and goes, Dogs constantly need attention because they have no existence outside of human beings. They are that fucking dependent. We have taken the wolf, an animal that lives out in the woods in packs, hunts other animals, kills them, eats them raw. We have taken that animal and we have bred it into a helpless, dependent animal that cannot even shit without a human being standing there watching it shit. If you own a dog, you have to take the dog outside and then stand there and watch the dog shit. And after the dog shits, you have to go, oh, good girl, good girl. Oh, look, he went poo-poo. Oh, good girl. Oh, yes, you're such a good doggy. Do you realize that this is the only animal on the planet Earth that cannot shit without a human being standing there watching it? Cat can shit. A cat can shit fine, doesn't need a person. Armadillo can shit, doesn't need people around. A beetle can shit, doesn't need any human being any place in sight. Elephants shit. They don't need help from people. Tigers can shit without people. Deer can shit. Donkeys can shit. Mice can shit. Rats can shit. Guinea pigs can shit. Parrots can shit. Goldfish can shit. All by themselves. They're swimming around. They just kind of just release, let it go, out it pops. The shit is in the water, floats down, good to go. Not a dog. A dog, this so-called intelligent animal, they're so smart. Oh, dogs are so smart. A dog cannot shit unless a human being is standing there telling it it's a good dog. You're going to tell me that's an intelligent animal. I'm going to tell you you're a dumb fuck. You ever notice how many dog owners are also tree-hugging hippies, environmentalists? They want to save the earth and all this other shit. You know, they're vegetarians and all this. Hey, guys, first of all, where do you think all that fucking dog food comes from? Somebody raised animals and then killed them and ground them up to make dog food. So there's your animal rights wackoness. You may be a vegetarian, your dog ain't. And then, how do you think that dog food got... excuse me. How do you think the dog food got from where it was manufactured to the grocery store where you bought it? I'll tell you how it got there. It was put on a truck that burns fossil fuels, and it was driven across the country and contributed to global warming. Furthermore, when you take your dog to the vet and they give it medication or surgery or whatever they do to cure your filthy little stinking stupid animal, how do you think they learned those medical techniques? How do you think they developed those drugs and those diagnostic activities? They did all of that with animal research. So how about that for you little PETA people? I don't get it. If you own a dog and you're a tree hugger, how fucked up are you? The answer is you're very fucked up. The answer is you need to shut the fuck up and stay away from me. You need to get your whiny ass little dog the fuck away from me. Dogs. The most worthless animals on the planet Earth. Any animal that cannot shit without a human being watching it has got problems. Okay. That's enough of my ranting about dogs. I'll probably rant some more about dogs later. I've got a stack of stuff here I'm going to try to talk about. That is going to go later. I talked about this earlier. The abortion opponents pushing for personhood of eggs. I need to check up and see how that's going. That is some strange, scary, fucked up shit. Also, while I'm thinking about it, look for a movie. It's a documentary. It's a very good documentary. By good documentary, I mean that when you watch it, you're not really sure what the political agenda of the people making the documentary are, and that's always the best sign of a documentary. Because I first started watching it, I thought, well, it's called Unborn in the USA, Inside the War on Abortion. And it's got the title in here, How the Pro-Lifers Are Winning. And so when I first watched this, I thought it was intended to be aimed against the pro-life movement. And as time went on, I wasn't really sure if it was against them or for them. So like I say, it's a very good documentary because there's not this editorial overtone where the filmmakers are trying to shove their opinion on you. And so it's really, really interesting because in some ways the pro-lifers come out looking very good, and in other ways the pro-lifers come out looking very bad. And it leaves it up to you, the viewer. It's some great, great stuff. Regardless of which side you are on, you know, that's the beauty of it. It doesn't matter if you're a pro-lifer or if you're a baby killer, pro-choice or whatever the fuck you're called this week. You know, trust me, see this DVD. It's very interesting, very educational, and I want to do a commentary on that sometimes. That's on my agenda. CNN.com. I just happenstance across this the other day. Cancer Cancer expert. I'm getting spikes. Cancer. 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 Okay. Cancer. Alright, better. Cancer. Something about the word cancer. It likes to spike on can. Alright, I gotta watch the cuss. Sorry, folks. Cancer expert warns employees on cell phones. Dun dun dun. It's back. We thought we were past this little stage where we thought that cell phones cause cancer, but no. Apparently this cancer expert has now warned us. This guy, Dr. Ronald B. Herberman, University of Pittsburgh Cancer Institute. See, there was the can again. Herberman is basing his alarm on early unpublished data. Let me translate for those of you who are not scientists what early unpublished data means. Early means preliminary. Early means my experiments aren't finished yet. In fact, some of my experiments have not even started. But I'm making up some data under the assumption I'm going to get the results I want. That's what early means. Unpublished means my data, which doesn't actually exist yet, obviously has not been peer-reviewed or looked at by anybody other than myself in order to make sure I have not made either an intentional or unintentional mistake. So he is basing his alarm on early unpublished data. He says it takes too long to get answers from science, and he believes that people should take action now, especially, here it comes, brace yourself, when it comes to children. Ah, yes, the children. We must do it for the children. We must save the children. We must stop cell phones for the children. Let me let you guys in on something. Now, it's very possible that if you do not give me, each of you listening to this, if each of you do not give me $1,000, you are going to die of brain cancer. Now, this alarm is based on early unpublished data, and it takes a long time to get answers from science. So I'm just telling you, you need to take action now. Because if you don't send me $1,000 and you die of cancer, who is going to take care of your children? You need to do this for the children. Okay? It doesn't matter that there's no scientific evidence. That doesn't matter at all. You need to do this for the children. Quote, really, at the heart of my concern is that we shouldn't wait for a definitive study to come out, but err on the side of being safe rather than sorry later, unquote. Herberman said, that is why you should all send Skippy, the Great One himself, $1,000. Because while I, with my early unpublished data, cannot definitively say that you are going to die of brain cancer if you don't send him $1,000, you need to do it for the children. And of course, it's amazing. The tree huggers, they're everywhere. A driving force behind the memo was Devren Lee Davis, the director of the university's Center for Environmental Oncology. Now, what the fuck is environmental oncology? Is that like cancer that tree huggers get? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that is. A quote, the question is, do you want to play Russian roulette with your brain? Unquote. She said from her cell phone while using the hands-free speakerphone as recommended. Quote, I don't know that cell phones are dangerous, but I don't know that they are safe. Unquote. I don't know they're dangerous, but I don't know they're safe. Folks, everything out there is dangerous. You are more, if anything, the cell phone is going to kill you because you're going to be driving your car or crossing the street or something like that, and you're going to be blah, blah, blahing away on your fucking cell phone, quite possibly talking about your dog. You ever notice, too, how many tree-hugging, dog-owning motherfuckers own cell phones? How much electricity and petrochemicals and fossil fuels do you think were involved in manufacturing that cell phone, transporting that cell phone, and then building all those towers the cell phones use to communicate? But, I guess that doesn't really matter, does it now? Reason magazine, always a good source of fun stuff. I just have to... These can't even be short. This is great. Okay, first one. Florida's Golden Gate High School suspended student Austin Perkins for wearing a jacket and tie to school. School officials say he'd been warned that those clothes violate the school dress code. A jacket and tie violate school dress code. You know, public schools are fucking our children up so bad. This is right in line. This is like a pet. This is a serious thing of mine. Is public schools and the way they fuck kids up. Like their dress codes. Like you remember a couple of STOs back when I talked about the girl who got sent home because she was wearing socks that have Tigger on them. You know, Tigger, bouncy, bounce, Tigger, bottom from Winnie the Pooh. Tigger, you have Tigger on your socks. You have to go home. You know, if she came in with like a naked woman on her socks, or jism on her socks, you know, a blood stains on her socks, you know, the principal's intestines on her socks, something like that, I can see. But Tigger, the guy's wearing a suit and tie, and you're going to send him home because it violates your dress code? There's something serious. And these kids today, I call them the medicated generation. I don't want to talk about the medicated generation right now. The medicated generation. All these youngins out there that are on fucking pills for their ADD and their ADDA and their ADADAD and their DDA, and all this other shit. You know, when I was a kid, if you couldn't sit still, somebody slapped you and told you to sit the fuck still and read your book. Now they get medicated. It's the adults doing it to them. We're fucking up our kids. We put them in these goddamn schools. We teach them worthless shit. We bore them senseless. We control the way they dress and the way they look because somehow or another that's going to make them better. What happened to diversity? Where's the fucking diversity? What is it, you know? I mean, does it really matter? I mean, now, hey, don't get me wrong. I'm the first one to tell you a lot of these kids today look like fucking freaks. They got the metal in their face and the tattoos and all this shit. And I just look at that and I go, my God, man, you're a fucking freak. You look like a freak. But the truth of the matter is, the freakiness that they look like does not inherently reflect what's on the inside. Trying to get them to go to conform in public schools is not the fucking answer. Doping them up so that they aren't capable of thinking or anything else, that is not the answer. That shit's not the answer, okay? What do we got here? Discovery Canyon Campus Elementary School in Colorado Springs has banned tag. That's tag, as in playing tag. Assistant Principal Cindy Fesgen says students were complaining about being chased. And this is what's happening in our public schools. We're turning the kids into pussies. They were chasing me. Well, you were playing tag. When you play tag, people chase you. That's the point of playing tag. Denise Bernstein lives in West Alias, Wisconsin. The People's Republic of Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a place that many, many years ago, two women were looking for a third woman to be a roommate with them. I have to tell this story because I'll never forget this, because this is like one of the pivotal stories I've heard in my life that made me a libertarian. These two women were looking for a female roommate. They interviewed a woman, and they decided they didn't want this woman to live with them because they weren't really comfortable about the fact that she was gay. I think she was gay. Maybe it was bi, but she was gay. One of the two. Anyhow, the woman, of course, went to the government and cried. The government forced these two women to let this woman move in with them and forced them to take sensitivity training. You know, when the government can force you to live with somebody you don't want to live with, that's some scary ass shit. The People's Republic of Wisconsin frightens the hell out of me, and that state definitely needs to be nuked. Anyhow, Denise Bernstein, who's in West Alice, Wisconsin, probably shares a similar attitude. But it was a SWAT team from Milwaukee that knocked in her door to her apartment. After handcuffing everyone, including her 74-year-old father, pointing guns at them, and breaking furniture, the cops figured out the man they were looking for had been evicted about 6 weeks earlier. They said, "We're sorry, I guess you're just one more of his victims," Bernstein told the press. Bernstein told the press. I said, "No, we're your victims." And of course, no wait, what does it? Let me look at this. Does it say? No, I would be willing to bet that this was an intended drug raid. I'd be willing to bet on that. Marvin Lopez went to Orange County, Florida courthouse to pay a traffic ticket. That's where he was arrested for an outstanding warrant for DUI and reckless driving. Lopez told authorities they had the wrong guy, and one jailer even remarked that he looked nothing like the person police wanted. But the sheriff's office never compared his fingerprints to those of the other Marvin Lopez, and Lopez spent 37 days in jail until a prosecutor realized during a pretrial hearing the police had the wrong man. Let me tell you, not only do the police have too much power, the police have too much free time. That tells me that I am going to talk about this article next. This is from the Collegian, the CSU newspaper. This columnist did a little investigation into the local police department. Listen to this. Here's what he writes. Sunday night, at least 10 police vehicles were involved in a 45-minute goose chase trying to find some kid on a bike. Monday afternoon, I saw 4 police officers viciously chasing an oblivious student riding his bike through the otherwise barren LSC Plaza. Finally, on the mile drive between my parking spot and my home, I saw 4 police vehicles awaiting speeders, another 2 who had pulled over speeders, and a police camera van taking pictures of speeders. 7 police vehicles on a Monday afternoon in broad daylight on a mile-long linear route. I began to wonder just how much work the police departments have to do. And that is a very good question, because I have maintained, as I just said, the police have, number 1, too much power, and number 2, too much free time. As a result, this is where our whole drug war stems from. If they didn't have, dope-smoking hippies to bust because the guy has a joint, they would have nothing to do. There is no real crime out there. Let's listen to some of these statistics that this guy put together. 2005, Fort Collins. Number of violent crime incidents, 413. Those 413, only 2 of them were real murders. The rest were drunk people fighting and throwing bottles and things like that. Now, he points out that this is 45% below the American average for violent crimes in towns this size. So here in Fort Collins, our violent crime rate is 45% lower than towns of this size across America. He found that property-related crimes seem to be on par with national average. Okay, so the crime rate of this city, all inclusive, stands around 3.3 incidents per 1,000 people. This is 25% below the national average, thus making Fort Collins a pretty damn safe place to live. Tell you, I've been here for 10 years now. I've gone off and left my doors unlocked on a regular basis. I've walked the streets at night. I've seen women walking the streets at night. I've seen black people walking the streets at night. I've seen ugly people walking the streets at night. There's not a lot of fear in this town. It's a pretty fucking safe place to be. Now, he found that the estimated population of Fort Collins is 131,000 people. We have 258 patrolling officers. Nationally in medium-sized towns, apparently Fort Collins is a medium-sized town, there are 1.9 police officers for every 1,000 citizens, which means that Fort Collins should have 247 police officers. We have 258, so that's pretty close. But For those of you who don't live in Fort Collins, you don't know this. That's why I'm going to tell you. See, here in Fort Collins, we are blessed. We are blessed with Colorado State University. And Colorado State University is part of the blessing it reaps on the world here in Fort Collins. Part of that blessing is that it has its own police department. Excuse me. Now, many of you who are college students around colleges, all that other stuff, say, what's the big deal? See, because your colleges have what I consider typical college police departments. That is to say, they're rent-a-cops. They're fat guys with a little can of pepper spray that make minimum wage. Our police officers here at CSU are not rent-a-cops. They are full-fledged, real-life, I'm making little quote thingies in the air, police officers. And they have 8.8 square miles of jurisdiction that includes the university and the area surrounding it. So essentially, we have 2 police departments in this town. 2. The CSU cops are real live police officers. They can, even if you're not a student and you're not on campus, they can give you a ticket, what the fuck ever. And one thing he did not take into account in his little study here is we also have, of course, the sheriff's department for Larimer County. He didn't even mention the number of the sheriff and the number of deputies, and I don't know how much they are offhand, but just consider those exist also. So, the CSU Police Department has 95 police officers. So what this means is that for our city, we have 353 police officers per 1,000 people. No. No. We have 353 police officers total, as opposed to the 247 we should have if we had 1.9 police officers for every 1,000 citizens. Whew, boy, did I fuck that statistic up. Thus, our ratio is 50% above the national average. So, we have, as he points out, we have almost 170 employed officers that, statistically speaking, have little work to do. And I would submit that Milwaukee, Wisconsin has the same problem. That's why they bumped in there and harassed this innocent woman. I would submit that the cops in Florida have a similar problem, which is why they're arresting people that are the wrong person. I would submit that police all over the United States have the same problem. There is very little crime to speak of, comparatively speaking, and so the police officers have way too much free time. I want you to keep this in mind next time you're supporting the drug war, next time you're donating to the Boys in Blue, next time some pig pulls you over, what the fuck ever. These people have way too much free time. I'm sort of... Alright. Wait, do I want to do this? Do that? Let's see. No, okay. Last fall, the City Council of Belmont, a town halfway between San Jose and San Francisco, California, of course. Only in California would stuff like this happen. Well, actually, not only in California. It's coming soon to a town near you. Anyway, I'm digressing. Belmont adopted what appears to be the first U.S. ordinance that prohibits smoking in private residences. That's right. Finally, the smoking ban has come to your very own home. It applies to any housing unit that shares a floor or ceiling with another housing unit, on the theory that the slightest whiff of secondhand smoke poses intolerable health hazard. Declaring that tobacco smoke is extremely dangerous, regardless of the dose, the ordinance also prohibits smoking in most public spaces outdoors. There is nothing in the world which is extremely dangerous, regardless of the dose. There is nothing out there. If you find any real toxicologist, and you talk to them, I know this because I work at a research lab, I talk to toxicologists. If you find a real toxicologist and ask them if there are things that God, I can't talk. Ask them if things that are commonly regarded as poisons are not toxic at significantly small doses. They will tell you that's true. A small dose of anything, small enough dose of anything, and the small enough is a quantity that varies substance to substance. But this notion that there's anything out there, radiation, low levels of radiation are healthy. Now, a lot of people don't want to believe that. I've run into these people, and they don't want to believe that. Low levels of radiation are healthy. Low levels of tobacco smoke. The tobacco smoke that is going to go through the wall. How does this smoke get through the wall? Through the wall into the apartment next to you is not going to hurt anybody. How much smoke, how much tobacco smoke actually passes through a wall? What scientific study have you done that supports the thesis that tobacco smoke can pass through a solid wall? California passed a law that targets smoking in one of the few locations exempt from Belmont's ban, private automobiles. The Golden State joins the growing list of jurisdictions, including Arkansas, Louisiana, Puerto Rico, and Bangor, Maine, that prohibit smoking in vehicles carrying children. California's law applies to any car with passengers under 18. So if you have a 17-year-old person in your car, you cannot smoke a cigarette. Wow. I imagine this is not news to those of you in California. I've never been to California. I have no intention of going to California. That's some frightening shit. And here's a question. God, I love the way this all comes together. So, do the police in California really have the excessive amount of free time necessary to see somebody driving down the road smoking a cigarette and to see a passenger in that car and say to themselves, you know, that passenger looks younger than 18. I'm going to pull them over, check everybody's ID, and if somebody in the car is younger than 18, arrest and or ticket this person for smoking a cigarette with a 17-year-old in the vehicle. Do the police in California really have that much free time? Why aren't they doing something about some real crime? I don't know, rape, murder, arson, theft, something important like that. You know, this is worth investigating. You know what? This is worth investigating. I am making a note. I am going to see if I can find out. First of all, what the punishment. If you're from California, contact me. I want to know what the punishment is, and I want to know if anybody's been fined or arrested, and do they pull people over and say, "Let me see your ID. How old are your passengers?" Wow. All right. This next thing is from Liberty Magazine. I'm just going to have to read this because Tim Slagle wrote it, and Tim Slagle's funnier than hell. And he phrases all of this much better than I would phrase it. Tim Slagle writes, Aquadot toys have pulled off retailer shelves nationwide after... Oh, first of all, I have to read it right in order to do this justice. So let me try this again. Aquadot toys have been pulled off retailer shelves nationwide after news reports claimed that the toys contained gamma hydroxide butyrate, also known as GHB or the date rape drug. Actually, the toys contained a different chemical that, when eaten and metabolized, converts into GHB. These reports put regulators and parents in a tizzy. Now, I've always been suspicious about the media label date rape drug. It's like calling duct tape abduction wrap. Also, I don't want to dismiss the scare felt by the parents of the two children who were hospitalized after eating Aquadots, but when I grew up, you were taught not to eat your toys. There has to be some recognition that it's dangerous for children to put non-food items in their mouths and start chewing. Perhaps, here's an idea, being as the police have such an excessive amount of free time, perhaps the police can go around from home to home and first of all, make sure people aren't smoking in their homes, but also make sure their children are not eating any toys. I think this would be a great public service. I think it would be an excellent use of tax money, an excellent use of police time, and this way they wouldn't have to waste their time on any kind of real crimes. This, and let me see, I need to save this. I have another article that's going to tie in with that. This is old news. Hillary is out of the race. It doesn't matter. But this, I still want to talk about this because this scares me. This is an op-ed from the Collegian, CSU newspaper. And the point of this is to illustrate why I despise journalists. Journalists are some of the dumbest fuckers on the planet Earth. This was written, now this op-ed I'm going to read is written by journalism majors. These are people who will graduate from school and go out there and become the fourth estate. These are the defenders of free speech. These are the people who are protecting us from the evil corporations and the excesses of government and the evil of the Republicans. Hillary Clinton announced Thursday that her universal health care program, better known as Hillary Care, will not be universal. Excluded from the plan will be the millions of people currently living in the country illegally. While we understand the need for such exceptions for the plausibility of her proposed health care, we feel that it kind of undercuts her entire argument. The idea behind universal health coverage is that everybody, poor and wealthy, has a right to access doctors and treatment. By changing her policy to exclude illegal immigrants, Clinton is seriously backstepping on the principles upon which her program is based. Universal programs by nature, we would like to remind Clinton, have neither an income bracket nor a citizenship clause. Will patients be required to show proof of citizenship before receiving treatment? Yes, folks, not only. First of all, the idea behind universal health coverage is that everybody, poor and wealthy, has a right to access doctors and treatments. Everybody in the United States already has a right to access doctors and medical treatment. Everybody. Nobody, I don't care who you are in the United States of America, if any one of you out there right now attempt to go to a doctor's office, make an appointment, and be examined by a licensed physician, nobody is going to stop you. Nobody is going to handcuff you except the police. Nobody is going to shoot at you except the police. Nobody is going to arrest you because your name is the same as the name of somebody else they're looking for, even though you don't look anything like that person, except the police. Nobody is going to break into your home and handcuff your 74-year-old father and point a gun at his head, except the police. Nobody is preventing anyone in this country from accessing medical care. You just have to fucking pay for it. Yes, it's terrible. You actually have to pay for the services you receive. My God, this country is the source of all evil in the world. How fucking dare we make people pay for healthcare? And of course, what idiots don't realize, because God, you fucking socialized, nationalized healthcare people seriously piss me the fuck off. Because this whole concept you have that healthcare is free. Oh, look, it's free. They're going to go to the doctor. It's going to be free. No. It's not free. It still has to be paid for. And when I get to my analysis, the upcoming in-depth analysis of Black Obama's Plan for America, Blueprint for Change, pages and pages of horseshit. We're going to talk about his little scam, his little swindle, his little bullshit. Okay, look, universalized health care, Hillary Care, government care, universal health coverage, whatever the fuck you call it. Everything is still being paid for. It's just that you're going to pay by taking it out of people's tax money, taking it out of their insurance premiums, all this other stuff. It's still all being paid for. It's not free, okay? Now, how dare we? How dare Hillary? That bitch Hillary. You notice the way the Democrats and the media turned on Hillary Clinton? I mean, the media tried to eat her alive. When she was married to Bill Clinton, when Bill Clinton was in office, oh my God, they could not kiss her ass enough. I mean, seriously, what is behind that? The media loved Hillary Clinton until she ran for president. And then all of a sudden, she was the witch. She was the bitch. She was the evil one. What? For 8 years, all we heard was how great Hillary was. What a wonderful president she was. How she was the force behind Bill Clinton. All this other shit. And then she runs for president, and all of a sudden, the same people who adored her hate her. What the hell is that? How dare Hillary, the bitch herself, exclude from her universal healthcare system people who are not citizens of the United States? Let me ask you something. Can I go to Canada? Walk up and go up to Canada and say, "Hi, I'm here. I'm from America. Can I have some of your free healthcare?" I mean, I don't know. If I go to Canada, can I just go up there and get free healthcare all the time? Can I go to England and get free healthcare? Can I go to Switzerland and get free healthcare? Can I go to any of these countries with socialized medicine and get free healthcare even though I'm not a citizen? Why in the hell should we provide, and to the future journalists of America, to these little journalism majors, these college-educated kids, these little fucking stupid-ass children who have no real-world experience, who haven't had to work for anything in their life, who don't pay taxes, have no fucking clue. Let's set that aside for the moment. Let's see. I'm looking for something a little more fun. There, we got that. Oh yeah, talking about healthcare. So economist Paul Krugman, he says that Obama's healthcare plan is going to cost federal taxpayers, remember now, this is free healthcare. Free healthcare. Obama's plan will cost federal taxpayers $102 billion per year. Hillary's plan, which did not cover illegal immigrants, by his estimations, would have cost $124 billion a year. Yes, folks, free health care for only $102 billion per year. That, if you're a Democrat, is free. To a Democrat, free and $102 billion are the same thing. I submit there is a lack of economic understanding going on here. A very serious lack of economic understanding. Whoops. Dropping things. San Antonio News Express. A candidate for Kerr County Treasurer, not Commissioner. A candidate for Kerr County Treasurer is making a single campaign promise. Elect me and I will not serve. Ed Hamilton is challenging incumbent Treasurer Mindy Williams for the Republican nominee. No Democrats are seeking the office. He said the job is redundant and costing the county money it doesn't need to spend. The duties should be assigned to another county office, Hamilton said. I don't plan to do the job. I won't accept a paycheck. Williams, who was appointed last spring to the $46,000 a year post, said the job shouldn't be eliminated. Gosh, what a surprise. I'm going to put that on the list too. Check up, see how that's going, see what's going on. Listen to this. Vatican City. A Vatican official suspended after being caught on hidden camera making advances to a young man says he is not gay and was only pretending to be gay as part of his work. Monsignor Tommaso Stanico said he frequented online gay chat rooms and met with gay men as part of his work as a psychoanalyst. He's Christian. There's fucked up in the head number 1. He's a psychoanalyst. There's fucked up in the head number 2. He said he pretended to be gay in order to gather information and, quote, to better understand this mysterious and faraway world, which, by the fault of a few people, among them some priest, is doing so much harm to the church. Unquote. Woo. I'm only pretending to be gay. Hi, baby, would you like to drop your pants and let me fuck you? Oh, I'm sorry, I am only pretending to be heterosexual. I didn't really mean that. Oh, some of the cops with too much free time. Eva Hernshoff videotaped some Denver police officers as they were arresting somebody else. A cop asked for Hernshoff's ID. He produced his ID and asked Officer Jeffrey Morgan for his business card. Quote, let's take you to jail instead, Morgan responded. Police handcuffed Hernshoff and took him to a cell where he spent the night. A charge of trespass against Hernshoff was later dismissed, and the city paid him $8,500 to settle a lawsuit. I submit that was nowhere near enough money. He should have gotten much more than that. The police have got to hate the fact that cameras and video recorders are so prominent now, because this, I think this is one of the best things that's happened to our country because of technology. That stupid shit annoys me when people do it. Their little cell phones in public and shit. It's like, get over it, you little gay fuckers. But the fact that now we can so easily record police brutality and police misconduct and all this other stuff and get it out on the internet is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I encourage all of you to take advantage of that. I don't bother with the other side. I'm always right. I don't need to worry about other people's opinions. Some of you out there, you should have figured this out by now. This is not news, okay? Alright. Yes! I have still barely scratched the pile here. There's so much. There's the Obama thing coming. I need to talk about my poli-sci class I took. I need to talk about the last cigarette movie and play some stuff from that. I need to talk about the normal meeting of dope-smoking hippies I went to. There's a lot of shit going on that I need to cover here on Stating Values. I gotta get on it. I know. Alright. Remember, email me. Contact me from California. I want to know how that smoking in the car thing is going. Contact me. Alright, I'm out.